Hey guys, so I wanted to make a quick video about the differences between holes and vertical asymptotes. I've had lots of questions about people trying to figure out the difference between the two, or when you have a hole and when you don't have a hole. The domain is always going to be the same situation. You always take the original denominators and set them equal to 0 and solve. So if I set this equal to 0 and I solve, I would get x equals -1. Here, set that equal to 0 and solve, I get x equals +2. And those would be known as the points of discontinuity. We don't necessarily want to say that it's a hole or a vertical asymptote. It's one of those two. The way that we tell whether or not we have a hole or a vertical asymptote is whether a factor actually cancels out or not. So in this situation, we don't have anything that's going to cancel, which means we do not have any holes. No holes. That means that when I set these denominators equal to 0 and solve, both of them will represent a vertical asymptote. And so I would say this, subtract the 1 and get x equals -1. Add the 2 and get x equals +2. And these are both vertical asymptotes. Over here, I do have something that cancels out. These match up. So they would cancel, giving me a simplified expression of 1 over x minus 2. So the fact that something canceled tells me I do have a hole. In fact, the expression that canceled, the x minus 1, that's what you want to set equal to 0 to find your hole. So if I solve this, I'm going to get x equals +1. That's the x value of my hole. All right. I want to plug that into the simplified expression. All right. That's going to give us our y value, which would be 1 over, and x is 1. And then 1 minus 2 is -1. And then 1 divided by -1 is -1. And so that's the y value, meaning that the coordinates of your hole are +1 and -1. As far as the vertical asymptote is concerned, that's the denominator that did not cancel. All right, so this is the hole. If I want to know the vertical asymptote, go to the denominator expression that did not cancel, the x minus 2, set that equal to 0, add the 2, slide that up, add the 2 and you would get +2, and that's the location of your vertical asymptote.